What's up, badass Black Desert Mobile fans? Feeding your beast is vital in Black Desert Mobile. He is one of the only consistent ways to increase your combat power. I'm going to cover the best items to buy from the market, as well as the best use of your Shakatu coins. Let's be honest here for a second. 99% of your coins are used on items that end up being fed to your Black Spirit anyways. Spending these coins wisely can have a serious impact on the growth of your Black Spirit. If this is your first time to my channel, you are missing out. Be sure to check out the description down below for additional badass Black Desert Mobile content. You won't be disappointed. Now, before I get into how to feed your beast, we have to take a look at the obvious. That's the Black Spirit's Dark Energy Experience rate. I'm not going to go into specifics too much here. Essentially, you want to get higher grade light stones and be sure to equip pets when feeding him or rolling Shakatu coins. Having pets equipped with 8% Dark Energy Experience can be the difference of a lot of combat power. Before I get into the document here, I need to make a disclaimer, which is the obvious. There is a lot of you guys watching this and I appreciate it. However, the advice that is about to be given may or may not be indicative of your server's market, and the prices might fluctuate in the coming days, which is why I've uploaded this document to FileDropper. It is a free download website, no logins required. I will link it in my description. Once you have this document, all you have to do is input the blue column where it says lowest market price. Once you fill out this column, everything else will be input and it will tell you what the best deal is for Residue at that moment. So don't worry, I have you covered. All you gotta do is hook it up with a like. I do appreciate it. And with that being said, let's dive right in. Up first, we're going to take a look at how much residue you get for each piece of gear when you feed them to your Black Spirit. The higher the grade of gear, the more residue. All purple weapons and armor give 1 residue, doesn't matter the type or class. After that, you have yellow 1 slots, then yellow Gruntle or Liberto / Rosar. And after that comes orange 1 slot, then 2 slot, and so on. Now that we have a basic understanding, let's take a look at how much residue you get from each piece of gear. Orange 1 slot main hands are given the most at 1140. I didn't test 2 slots. Obviously, they're going to give more. And then the Jin Libertos and red gear. Sub 1 slots are given 792, and armor always gives more than sub, so you want to make sure you pay attention to the cost difference in those two, because sometimes the sub's more beneficial to buy, sometimes it's the armor. Once you get down to yellow Gruntle 2 slots, it does get 480 for the main hand weapon, which is really solid. That's a very, very solid piece to usually buy from the market to feed your Black Spirit. Up next is a sub at 292, and then the armor again above that at 350. And then we have the yellow 1 slots. I did record it just because I wanted to make sure I had all of the averages, as you can see right there. Up next, we're going to take a very important look at the rates from Shakatu and what's the best weapon or armor to roll. First, we have to know how much each roll from Shakatu costs depending on the gear. We did take this down to yellow 1 slots as well. I also understand RNG has a factor in this. However, if you take, the law of averages, then the following is a great indicator of what to roll from Shakatu. Main hand weapons in every category rate the highest in returns from Shakatu. After that comes armor, then sub weapons, followed up with helmets, and then the gloves and boots come in at the same for all categories. So the best to roll from Shakatu is main hand weapons if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, as far as feeding your Black Spirit and getting that residue. The most residue for your coins is per RNG, of course, so there could be the other deciding factors. Sometimes when you go into a helmet or something else, it does for some odd reason seem like it gives you a little bit more residue. But again, law of the averages, and if RNG is true and RNG is true, then you should be rolling main hand weapon to get the residue and to feed your Black Spirit the most. If you have to feed not feed your alts, but level up your alts and you want to go for helmets and chest piece, I understand. This is strictly for what's the best to feed to your Black Spirit. Remember when you're rolling your Shakatu coins as well that it doesn't matter what weapon you get, whether it's a 1 slot yellow, 2 slot yellow, orange 1 slot, 2 1 slot. It doesn't matter which one you get. They're all going to be main hands, all going to be better than the sub or armor. Armor's all going to be better than the sub. Sub's going to be better than the helmet, gloves and shoes. So the only time you should be rolling gloves, shoes, helmet, Sub is if you want those pieces of gear to level up alts or you're trying to roll for red gear. The next is some good stuff. Now, like I said at the beginning, I have the file uploaded and all you have to do is change the blue column here. I understand that the number you see here might not be indicative of your server's market. That's why I made it available to download. So all you have to do is go through each piece of gear, find the lowest sale price on the market for each. You do this for the main hand, sub-weapon, and all 4 armors. It can take a few minutes to input all the data, but it could save you literally millions of silver and garner you loads of residue. So in the end, it's worth it to understand the best value from the market as well as from Shakatu. Alright, so this is data that I put in today, August the 3rd. And this is indicative of the Medea server North America region. You can see with the best buy, it's the yellow Grunnel, or not yellow, the sub weapon, the Rosars, if you can find them. Again, you got to make sure there's a lot of yellow Rosars, so you got to go through and find which ones are the best deals. I did find some at 2.675 there. The main hand came in at 5.72, so that because of the cost difference and the residue difference, it was more beneficial to buy the sub weapon. The armor came in at second, at best value as far as feeding the residue to the Black Spirit. And then third is going to be the gloves, and then the helmet, and then the main hand weapon came in at 4th or 5th, whatever it is now. And then what's good to note is the orange 1-slot main hand weapon also tied the yellow main hand weapon. So if you're done feeding or if you're done leveling your alts and you have extras and you don't want to sell it on the market, you could always use it to feed to your Black Spirit. Yellow 1-slots are pretty much never worth it. I mean, I ran a couple scenarios here, and it would take some drastic changes in the market for them to become worth it. I just don't see it happening. Typically, your best bang for your buck is that middle section, as you can see right here. I've been buying yellows from the market for quite a while now, and every time I check it, it's always the main hand, sub hand, and the armor yellows that give the best returns when buying from the market. You just got to pay attention to the fluctuation. And if you can, sometimes when you go into the market and you find a yellow sub hand or a main hand weapon yellow, like a Laverto per se, sometimes you go to one class and it's on a min bid for 3 million, and the next class is there's none for min bid and they're at 6 million. So you want to make sure you snag the 3 millions as soon when you do see them. So it's good to check the market every few hours, maybe like 2 or 3 times throughout the day. See if you can find any of the orange gear to help feed to your Black Spirit or to level up your alts for Path of Glory. One side note here as well is that most of this orange gear, aside from weapons, so most of the armor, the shoes, the helmet, and the gloves, most of that is increasing in prices, especially for the next 1 to 3 weeks is my guess, and that's because Path of Glory, so a lot of people are leveling their alts, so the market's consistently sold out, which is going to drive up the prices of those. So I mean, typically we're not feeding our oranges to our Black Spirit, but it is good to know that the cost of those is going up, so that way you're not going out and buying those if you don't have to. You're going to want to wait until they come back down. The weapons are pretty much going to be as low as they're going to get right now, and that's because we got the new classes, awakenings here. Everything's weapons-wise, we've had all of the weapons now for a while. There's nothing new that's coming out that could, drive that influx, those back up again. So you can expect to see weapons to stay pretty much stagnant at the pretty much lowest that they're going to be. Armor is going to get driven up, so you're not going to want to buy those. Yellow gear is not going to be really affected by this, by the Path of Glory too much. It will be a little bit. Some people are buying the Grunnels, so you do see the prices of those going back up a little bit, but those did just come back down from the awakening. A lot of people went ham on the gear awakening that they needed their residue, so the market was sold out on yellows for like a month or so. So those are now starting to come back down to a more tolerable rate. I mean, main hand Lavertos were selling for like 2 to 3 mil silver like 2 months ago. So you could buy a lot of those and really feed your Black Spirit very nicely. So that is what I recommend. Make sure you guys go out and check out that document. If you have any issues downloading it, by all means, let me know. If you've enjoyed this video, you make sure you hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, I will see you next time.